Hey everybody, Livingston here. Today we're jumping into another fun-filled episode of the Twilight Zone. This time it's Season 3, Episode 34, Young Man's Fancy. Came out May 11th, 1962. Another episode I haven't seen before. But before we get started, let's jump into your comments to last week's episode, A Changing of the Guard. Jens Retberg, 7968, says this one was sweet and sentimental about a character getting his farewell. It really fits as a season closure, especially the seasons that ends a phase of the Twilight Zone. After Season 3 aired, it even felt for some months as if the whole show was canceled before it would come back. Season 4 is entering new territory, and we are indeed changing the guards with this. Well, I do know when we jump into Season 4 that the episodes do become double the length. We're getting into the Outer Limits length now, almost an hour long. And so I'm kind of curious how that's going to feel once we get into those sorts of episodes. Because when I was watching The Outer Limits, I got a little bored with some of the episodes. But I think Twilight Zone, the first 3 seasons, I enjoyed the short episodes. 23 minutes per episode, basically. With commercials and everything like that, it ends up being a full 30 minutes. But sadly, we're jumping into an hour long. Maybe it isn't sadly. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. Who knows? I haven't seen all of them. I know a lot of you have and are kind of reliving it through me in a way. But yeah, it's really cool to see a different change in the episodes coming forward or going forward, and looking forward to seeing how they hold up. CBCW76 says, can a feature film capture the magic of a great film? I think you mean, can a feature film capture the magic of a great episode? Television episode, maybe? Well, almost well enough in a 30-minute format, but Robert Donat's 1939 Goodbye Mr. Chips is the superior entertainment, but the film cheats because it has beautiful Greer Garson as a significant contributor. Otherwise, both versions are worth watching and rewatching. Well, I'll have to check out Mr. Chips or Goodbye Mr. Chips. I haven't seen it. So I can't really have an opinion on which is better or not, but there are many examples of things out there that have come before. One of them is the Final Destination episode that came out a couple seasons ago, and that episode ended up creating Final Destination, the movie, or at least was a contributor to its creation. And I think the actual episode that it was based off of is better than the movie itself. There's several other things out there. I mean, you can say that possibly The Fugitive. Fugitive was a movie. It was also a television show, but I also liked the movie way better than the actual television show in that circumstance. So it just depends on the situation, I suppose. CBCW76 continues on and says that I love that opening monologue of the teacher reading ancient passages to a youthful audience with almost zero experience with emotional values and truths. They are standardly bored by such readings, but maybe, just maybe, they can stumble upon the book or on some lonely weekend, reread it, and discover great value in the words they use to bore them. Holy Robert Persig Batman. Well, yeah, I do believe that when you watch things at a young age, that when you watch them 20, 30, 40, 50 years after the fact, you look at them at a different viewpoint, different vantage point in life, basically. When you're a kid, you're not reading so much into the stories as you are when you are an adult. Like, for instance, when I watched Titanic, I remember when it first came out. It was 1997. I went to see it around Christmas time. And it was my sister, my stepfather, and I, not stepfather, it was a guy that my mom was dating, but he was a guy that was around for a long time. Anyways, the movie was just a whatever kind of movie to me at the age of 13 years old. But when I watched it like 15, 20 years later, after the fact, I loved it, thinking it's probably one of the best movies of all time. That's probably why it is up there with like the top 5 greatest or biggest box office openers of all time, as well as winning Academy Award for Best Feature Film at the Academy Awards. And yeah, it's just, when I look at it now, it's a well-told story. It's very vibrant. It's made me feel emotional watching it. But when I was a kid, not so much. It's just funny how you experience things differently the older you get. CBCW76 continues on and says, by the way, I'd comment that teachers without their finest faculties can still be teachers and leaders by example. This is what it's like to get old, and that's a valuable lesson for every young human. They have to learn to appreciate all things or dispense and ignore all others. Very true. I mean, I even said it when I was reacting to the episode, that we should be learning from the people who are the ones who have experienced life in such a long period of time. I mean, when you have somebody who is half your age telling you that you don't have value, it makes you just want to look at them and go, shut up. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Get to my age, and then you'll know what exactly it means to be a teacher or somebody who knows how to pass on knowledge to others. Michael Quinwans, I think that's how you say it. I'll just say Michael. The Season 3, Episode 27, Twilight Zone, would be the last. It was a transition before retooled for the 1963-64 model year with a new title of An Opening Door, with objects floating through space in the iconic You Open This Door with the Key of Imagination. Fun fact, Frank Sutton was later played as Sergeant Carter on Gomer Pyle USMC. That show would ironically replace the now-canceled Twilight Zone in its time slot. Yeah, I did hear that they are retooling things, or they had retooled things, this is past tense, and that things get different in Season 4, so looking forward to seeing how that all transpires. Thanks for letting us know about the trivia, and yeah, I did read about Gomer Pyle taking over for Twilight Zone, but in the long run, Twilight Zone ended up lasting as a big pop cultural phenomenon throughout the decades. Gomer Pyle, not so much. Medium John Silver says, I find that the theme of The Changing of the Guard is a lot closer to It's a Wonderful Life than A Christmas Carol. Yeah, I totally see that too. There are a little bit of both when it comes to it, but when you have him seeing that if he wasn't a part of these people's lives, then maybe a lot of these breakthroughs in medicine and war would not be a possibility, and him being around actually made the world richer for it. So, yeah, I mean, can definitely see that if you wanted to say Christmas Carol or It's a Wonderful Life, for both, you can see examples for both movies in this actual tale. CBCW76 does say 1939's Goodbye Mr. Chips with Robert Donat. True, 1939's Goodbye Mr. Chips is what the story is basically based off of, but when you look at, say, A Christmas Carol, you can see a lot of examples in that movie that really touched on what was going on in this particular episode of The Twilight Zone, and it did come out before Goodbye Mr. Chips, so maybe Goodbye Mr. Chips took some things from A Christmas Carol. Now when it comes to It's a Wonderful Life, It's a Wonderful Life came out in 1946, so maybe It's a Wonderful Life took a little stuff from Goodbye Mr. Chips, or vice versa, when it comes to A Christmas Carol. Who knows? But we weren't in those people's minds when they were writing those particular stories. Ben Rosita says, Donald Pleasance with hair. We truly have entered the Twilight Zone. Well, he actually looked pretty decent with hair. Jonathan Stein says, this is probably the happiest ending in the series, and with a great message to boot. I agree. It is one of the happier endings. Usually a lot of happy endings in the Twilight Zone tend to be goofier episodes, but yeah, this one was a sentimental, heartfelt episode that I really enjoyed. And yeah, had a great message that, you know, you do have a more of a grasp on other people's lives than you really think sometimes. Blue Black Purple says, this was a very touching episode. It reminds me that we never know how we affect and touch the lives of others. We are all teachers in a way, because what we say and do can potentially affect others in a way we might never know. Yep, that is true. I mean, it could be one sentence, one paragraph. I've met people in my life for a very fleeting moment, and they have made massive impacts due to just being in my life for only 5 or 10 minutes. You know, it's things you remember, especially when you get older. The older you get, the more you start remembering certain things, and the more you just accumulate knowledge, I suppose. Jack Dorsey 4850 says, love this one. Mr. Serling nailed it good. Very true. I thought this was a good episode. Kendall Square says, this episode was kind of good. I got interested when the school bell rang and he went to his classroom. Then it makes sense when his students from the past appeared. He realized that he did make a difference. Everybody had made a difference in somebody's life. Very true. If you are not here, I mean, just imagine all the different possibilities of what would have happened if you weren't in the particular life that you're in right now. I mean, go back to the very beginning. You not being in life in general would change the routes of everybody else's lives. It's the butterfly effect that we've talked about on these this Twilight Zone, or at least these Twilight Zones. I've brought up the butterfly effect a few times, that you go in the past and just change one thing. It'll change the entire future. just one little moment. And the further ahead, or I should say the further back you go, and the more changes you make, the more possibilities the more possibilities of alternative routes in the future there will be. Raymead C says Robertson wasn't moving his lips because the dummy was supplying his own voice. Pretty sure Robertson couldn't move his lips a bit if he directed it to do so. We're talking about the dummy, the episode before this episode, and yeah, and that's true. It could have been one of those things where he wasn't controlling the dummy whatsoever. The dummy was the one speaking the entire time. That's very true. Trepanist says, parents, teachers leave the biggest imprint on people. I remember my grandmother received a letter from a country music star whom she taught many years prior. True, a lot of people who have left imprints on my life are teachers and parents and family members in general. A few friends are involved, maybe some acquaintances to the family that I have run to throughout my life, but true, it typically is the parents or the teachers. Sometimes it's friends, family, who knows? I mean, there's so many people that can come into your life and change it one way or another, or to at least give you some sort of knowledge to take on into the future. CBCW76 says, for all the teachers I have come across, I heard from a former student is always the happiest, most joyful sound these teachers can deliver. True, it's nice to know that you made some kind of accomplishment by at least touching somebody's life who made an accomplishment in their lives or in the world in general, and to know that you are the one to push them forward into what they really enjoy, and if they make an actual impact on the world, then it's like, wow, I helped put that person there. I helped achieve their goals, or at least I helped them to achieve those goals. But let me know, comment below, who are some of the people that made you feel like they've imprinted themselves onto your life in some way, whether it was knowledge that was passed down, maybe besides your parents or your grandparents or family members. It would be more interesting to know if there were people that you remember fondly about that maybe you don't know them anymore, or maybe they were just some kind of fleeting moment that just really stuck with you the entire time. I'd like to know if there are any people like that in your lives. Let me know, comment below. Well, let's jump into the episode and see what we're getting into.
The Twilight Zone.
Quaint neighborhood.
This is Mrs. Walker herself, as she appeared 25 years ago. The house of the late Mrs. Henrietta Walker is, you see, a house which belongs almost entirely to the past. Her son, Alex, 34 years of age, and up till 20 minutes ago, the so-called perennial bachelor. They're returning from the city hall in order to get Mr. Walker's clothes packed. And yet the newlywed Mrs. Walker is about to discover that the old adage, you can't go home again, has little meaning in the Twilight Zone.
Young Man's Fancy, produced by Buck Houghton.
Thank you, darling.
Well?
Well, you better call him now, then. You have to sign the papers before we leave.
Yes, of course.
You go call Mr. Wilkinson.
I thought I left this card right here. Can't seem to find it.
Look, I tell you what, you go on up and pack, and I'll call Mr. Wilkinson.
Okay.
I'm so happy to be Mrs. Walker at last.
Why you keep looking at your mom? He doesn't seem too thrilled. Why, you seem sad. You seem glum, chum. Yep, you gotta reset the clock. There you go.
Oh, would you give me the number of Wilkinson Realty, please? On Main Street.
Crooked. There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, yes, I am very happy. Yes, we're back now. If you bring the papers over so Mr. Walker can sign them, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alex, I thought you were going to...
No, there's plenty of time.
What?
But what do you think we should take out of here?
Darling, I thought we'd decided to discuss all that after the house was sold.
Oh, yeah.
Refrigerator and the stove, they're pretty new. I just bought them for Mother a few months before she died.
All right, Alex, but we've really got to leave.
Of course. What about the radio? It's pretty old, but we could have it fixed. All the work they put into it, the craft, the programs we used to hear on this. Major Bose, Fred Allen.
Guy's living in the past.
This favorite was Eddie Duchin. The lady in red. All the fellas are crazy for the lady in red. I knew it was. She used to sit in this chair. Look at the movie magazine. Sometimes she'd make a pan of fudge for us.
Come on, we have to leave when Mr. Wilkinson comes.
Maybe we could get this fixed. Used to be a real good clock.
We'll discuss that later, huh?
Yeah, I think he's going to keep going, though. You regretting marrying him yet?
He's mine now.
Is he, though?
You'll never get your claws on him again.
We'll see. That's not good. It's supposed to be broke. Close it up. Crap. It's a haunted radio. Or is he in there? Did he turn it on?
Alex? Alex?
Better go up and check. Oh, he's playing his records. What's wrong with you?
I was just looking at some of my old things. Looks as good as ever.
The Hardy Boys in Secret of the Caves. Bill Bolton in Hidden Dangers. Tarzan and the Ant-Man.
Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar.
Well, he liked Tarzan.
Funny old things. Oh, and the stockings that went with them. Takes a real boy to know a real stocking.
Never worn stockings.
It's a quote from an ad in a mail order catalog of, gosh, it must be 25 years ago. I wonder why Mother kept them.
You're not angry with me, are you?
Yes, I am.
I want us to be happy. That's all I've ever wanted.
Why are you mad? Jeez. Go pack your crap so you can go on a vacation.
I can manage.
You aren't angry with me, are you?
No.
You're just not hiding it well.
I'll make you happy, Alex.
How? Damn, that picture of Mother's all over the place.
I'll wait for Mr. Wilkinson downstairs. He should be here any moment now.
All right.
I don't want to sell the house. I don't want to sell it, Mother.
Well, you're gonna have to. The clock is working. Crap. Oh, stopped again.
Mr. Wilkinson, won't you come in?
Thank you kindly, ma'am.
Won't you go in the living room? I'll get Mr. Walker.
Fine and dandy.
Alex, darling.
Yeah?
Yes, of course.
Afternoon, Mr. Walker. Congratulations to you, sir. First, I wonder if I could trouble you for the use of your telephone, and I'm expecting a pretty important call from out of town. Fine and dandy. After you, sir.
Sounds great. He's having second thoughts, though.
As you can see right here, Mr. Walker.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Well, I think I'd better do it myself. I have to tell my secretary some things anyway.
That is not the same phone that she was looking at.
I'm over at Henrietta Walker's house. Would you put that call through to me here if it comes in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so? I'll see you, man.
Fine and dandy. That's what he likes saying.
Something you don't understand, Mr. Walker?
No, I think I'll wait.
What?
Darling.
I just want to think about it.
I'm sorry to cause you so much trouble, Mr. Wilkinson.
Sure. You're positive?
I'm positive.
Well, you just angered her.
I'll get in touch with you on your return, please. Oh, never mind, Miss Lane. Miss Walker.
Why didn't you sell the house, honey? Why can't you let go?
I'll pack.
Alex, you promised.
Oh, I'm not backing down, Virgil. I just want a little time to think about it, that's all.
Yeah, if you're gonna sell it.
Never mind. Just pack and let's get out of here.
I mean, couldn't we live here, Virg? It's a pretty nice house.
I want to leave. Right now. You promised me when your mother died you'd sell this house. She's been dead for a year now. 12 years. 12 long years of waiting for you. Now I want my own home. I have a right to that.
Can't blame her for that. Especially if you promised her, dude.
Look at me as if you don't even know me. But our home, not hers. We've waited so long, darling.
She lost her health taking care of me in this house for more than 20 years. My father deserted us when I was 2 months old.
Dear God, get over it.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
I'm not going to sell the house, Virg. We'll have it redecorated, maybe get some new furniture.
You're an asshole, man. Screw that guy.
No, Alex. I won't let you.
Oh, crap. The clock's going again.
We'll get out of here.
Where the hell did that come from?
I won't let you. I won't let you.
Oh, no. Just like his mother used to make. Everything keeps reverting back. Oh, crap.
You can't him. I won't let you have him. He's mine now. Mine.
I don't think so.
I won't try to destroy him like you did. You always known it's true, and you hated me for it. You will not have him back.
This is not my doing.
Mom? That's pretty sad that you would pick the woman you just married for your own mom. You want to be in a relationship with your mom? Okay, well.
You.
Can we go to the park and then to the zoo and have 2 ice cream cones?
You know, if you stayed an adult, you wouldn't have to ask for permission.
We don't need you anymore.
I don't like that ending. She tried everything to get him out of that house. Well, back on the market.
Exit was fame and is not about to relinquish it. Such things do happen in the Twilight Zone.
Well, that was an interesting twist there. I kind of seen it going that direction when you had everything reverting back to the 1930s in that house. And then suddenly the mother arrives and then he's a kid again. And he can't let go of the past, I guess, is what the whole thing is. If you can't let go of the past, there's no way of moving forward in your own life. And, hey, we got, couple episodes now where there's some kind of life lesson to learn from it. And this is very much something that people sometimes need to learn in their lives, that you can't go back. You got to keep moving forward no matter what you do in life. I mean, unless you're in the Twilight Zone, that is. But there's a lot of times I would love to go back to being a kid again. Definitely had things a lot easier. There was a lot less worry. You think you got everything figured out until you get into the real world, and then you realize, oh shit, I don't know nothing. But yeah, when it came to this episode, I thought it was a very good episode. Really enjoyed this Twilight Zone episode. Maybe it'll end up in the top 5. Who knows? Let me know, comment below what you thought of this episode. I'd like to know your thoughts. Now let's jump into some trivia and see what it took to get this episode off the ground. The opening shot showing the home is reused in the very next episode, I Sing the Body Electric. Well, we're getting ready to watch that. Although Rod Serling's opening narration describes the character Alex Walker as 34 years old, Alex Nichol was 46 at the time. Yeah, they always seem to do that. Why didn't they just make him the actual age he was? I don't know. The carpeting on the steps have a design that looks like ladies' eyes. Didn't notice that. One of 16 of the 156 episodes of the Twilight Zone that involve the appearance of a ghost. 16, huh? Alex Walker's childhood book includes Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar, and Tarzan and the Ant-Men by Edgar Rice Burroughs, the Hardy Boys novel The Secret of the Caves by Franklin W. Dixon, and Bill Bolton and Hidden Danger 1933 by Noel Sansbury Jr. Unusually, this episode does not feature any dialogue before the opening narration. Carol Lombard is on the cover of the March 1936 issue of Screen Digest. As with Ed Lindsay in Static, Alex Walker has fond memories of the old-time radio shows, the Major Bowles Amateur Hour, and the Fred Allen Show. Phyllis Thaxter played Virginia Lane Walker. She was on, I suppose... Now, she's actually famous for being Ma Kent in Superman, the original 1978 movie with Christopher Reeves. 30 Seconds Over Tokyo, Ellen Lawson. The Breaking Point, Lucy Morgan is what she played, and Bewitched, which was the movie from 1945. I totally did not remember her being in Superman, Ma Kent. Didn't recognize her whatsoever. Last thing she was in was Murder, She Wrote, 1992. Alex Nichol, who played Alex Walker, is most popular for films like The Screaming Skull, 1958, Point of Terror, 1971, The Black Glove, 1954, and The Man from Laramie, which I have heard of, 1955. The last thing he was in 1976, Woman in the Rain. Now, the young Alex is known for playing in Once Upon a Horse, and this episode of The Twilight Zone, the last thing he was on was Insight TV series, where he played in 4 episodes between 1968 and 1974. Well, that's it for this episode. Let me know, comment below what you thought of it, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Continue on this voyage to episode 156 of The Twilight Zone. Till next time, see you later.